Okay, this is, it's been about actually 10 minutes for this. It's not 100% set, but it is mostly dried. There's still a bit to do before I do my final wrapping. Now, remember, this blade is 28 inches long, which is 1 1/3 inches extra. So what I do is I like to bevel the very ends of my blades in order for them to get taped down better. You don't have the huge wad of tape if you're not careful. So what I'm going to do is I have marked off at 1 inch, gives me clearly 1/3, and as I bevel it in, there will still be, most of the way through, will be strike legal. It's just that there's that last little bit that's going to help me make it bevel in. And mark that. For a nice clean cut, let's go ahead and just get off there. Bevel that in just a bit more. But really enjoying this new technique edition. Just straightening up the line right there. Now, as this is setting, I'm also going to mark off 1 inch from the beginning. Of course, even as this is going on, I'm still wanting to make sure that I'm getting a good bond with all the edges. So I constantly go back over, make sure there's no separation. And I'm going to mark off 1 inch on this side. And 1 inch on this side. Very, very, very shallow cuts. Now, I could have it go straight to the middle at 1.5 inches. It would be a straight point. Don't want to do that because I don't want anything resembling a point. So what I do is I mark off 1 inch. And here, that's another inch. So this will be actually a 1 inch wide stab tape, but it fans out to 3 inches wide in less than, well, in 1 inch. So make my marks. Do a good cut is lightly scoring. If I were to mess up, that's still not deep enough of a mark to affect the structural integrity. And once again, I want it to be right here. There are my dog ears. Doesn't look quite right to my eye. That's why I like to always double check. Yeah, it's about 1/8 of an inch difference. I like that better. So I'll just go with this straight down, all the way through. And then over here, straight down, all the way through. Now, in the past, this is where I would stop as far as making the blade shape. Oh, that's not straight. But whenever I made my purple sword with the heavy padding substitution, I was trying to shave every ounce and fraction of an ounce, pretty much every gram that I could off of it, and I discovered beveling, which is where I take it and do a shallow bevel. So I'm going to give this probably about another 5 minutes to set for the rest of it, and then I'm going to go and do smooth bevels, what will give it a 1/2 inch wide striking surface, but there is no amp guard rules for minimum width of striking surface. I can make this down to a point if I wanted to. I'm not that big of a jerk, but I am big enough of a one to shave off that little edge where it doesn't really matter anyway, and it's going to help me have a nice smooth edge. So that is the next step. Is I'm going to give this probably another 3 to 5 minutes for the DAP to dry, or the DAP to 3M, and then I will be beveling the edge. Okay, I have done 3 of the bevels off camera. After all, I can't reveal all my secrets. Still checking for good 3M hold. And I'm going to do the last one on camera really quick so as not too much is revealed. What is pointed out though is that because I have 1 1/4 inch padding on either side, I can bevel the outside edges and still have more than 1/2 inch of padding in any direction from the core. I'm going to bevel the end. And I can do this part especially because this is the extra bit of padding at the end, the extra 1 1/3 inch. So I'm still within my preset determination boundaries. And before I build a pommel, I'm going to take one more measurement to make sure all my measurements are tight. And if I need to, I can simply reduce the length of the guard to ensure amp guard legality. Now, what I do not bevel, and I feel this is important enough to say, as I do a lot of things, but this one is especially important. Do not bevel the tip, because that's where thrusts come in at. So these corners and this are flat, and they will remain so in order to ensure very high levels of safety. We have a little bit of wiggle there, so whenever we start our final step, which is the takedown securing, well, other than the pommel, we want to make sure that our tip is extra reinforced. Hopefully this won't add too much weight. In the past, I've always reinforced it with duct tape. Always duct tape. Duct tape is soft, it doesn't sting like packing tape, and it's better than packing tape. I am going to try strapping tape now. I will say I am not a fan of strapping tape, mainly because it is a pain to work with. But I do hear that its strength aspects are highly commendable, and I do want maximum safety on stabbing tip. Yuck. This tape had better be with it because it is a pain in my ass. Use separation. It's not a concern because the tape is designed to compress and hold it on. Those teeth might as well not exist. They do not cut the strapping tape. Much less wiggle. Very happy with that. And I'm going to reinforce this with strapping tape in short lengths. Let's see if it will cut. Nah. It's a bit heavier than the packing tape. Where the strapping tape does not reinforce it, I will wrap in packing tape. Notice those teeth do not cut at all. I am not torque wrapping because when I have torque wrapped blades, they ended up warped. And I want straight blades. So while this does take a little bit longer, guess I hate this strapping tape. It will be worth it for me to have a straight blade. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do 2 more pieces off camera. Then I'm going to wrap all the rest of it with packing tape. And I don't need to do that on camera. I will show the finished product.